Aloha and welcome again, everyone, to Language of the Soul Astrology Talk Radio. I'm your host, Oralea Starr, and I'm super excited today because I have my friend here, Cindy Paulos, our very own Cindy Paulos from Kauai. But what most people probably don't know, even though Cindy's been here at the station for 32 years, is that she's also Reverend Dr. Cindy Paulos. And so we're going to be talking about, I have a number of her books available today, like Spiritual Tools for a Better Life, Prayers, Affirmations, and Meditations, Angel Blessings, and my personal favorite, Mystical Mother Mary, Sacred Tools of Love. We've also got a couple of CDs, The Gift of Hope, and Together, Words and Music. So in maybe about 15 minutes, Cindy will be joining us and we'll be talking about all of her exciting projects and creative works. The theme for this week is faith, and even though Jupiter, I'm using Jupiter as the planet of the week, so we're really tuning into faith this week. And so most of you know that before I get started with the poem of the week, which was actually written by Cindy Paulos, I'd like to say thanks to our sponsor for this show, Maui Healing Retreat. So Janet Baldwin, thank you so much, Janet Baldwin of Maui Healing Retreat. They offer one-on-one personal coaching and private coaching sessions to really help gain clarity and information on how to live your best life. And so many of us really could use some help at this time, and just no shame in that. I mean, I found the more support the better, and I've actually used some of the practitioners on Maui Healing Retreats team. They have amazing shamanic healers. Shout out to Eva Marie and of Maui Healing Retreat. And so whether you need a one-on-one session, couples counseling, or shamanic healing, Maui Healing Retreat has you covered. And make sure to ask about their Kama Aina pricing and contact them, Maui Healing Retreat, at 808-870-3711, or you can visit their website at mauihealingretreat.com. So thanks again, Janet, over there at Maui Healing Retreat, for all that you do. So the poem today is actually called There Is Hope. And it's written by our very own Cindy Paulos, and I will do my best to do it justice. Here it is. There is hope by Cindy Paulos. There is hope on the horizon as I look out to the distance to see. Past the storm clouds, there is a golden light. The breaking of a new dawn is shining through to me. There is a certain freshness on the land, and the rain has washed the earth clean. And I feel such great understanding now from all the lessons I have learned to fulfill my destiny. There is hope on the horizon, and it leads me past the illusions and despair. For with every dream comes an awakening to a greater reality waiting to be shared. Stop and be quiet, and go deep within and pray. Have faith and just believe. There always comes a new and brighter day from a higher plane of being. There are angels who watch and help you to see if you can surrender to God's love. This light will guide you eternally. There is hope on the horizon, past the darkness, with the vision to see this path that leads you past hard times and to a new and brighter reality. Thank you, Cindy Paulos. She has so many great poems, and I asked her for a few yesterday that focused on faith, and this particular one, There Is Hope, not only brought tears to my eyes, but it's so in line with the astrology for the week. And so I'd like to sail into that astrology for the week so that we can get to Cindy over here. So it's actually a relatively quiet week in the cosmos, and I've got some notes here. I mean, this week we've got all this Aries and Aquarius energy, this air and this fire. It's like so inspiring, and we're able to actually, put our ideas into action in a really big way. I love this energy. I'm an Aquarius. I have 5 planets in Aquarius. I have a few planets in Aries. Cindy, who's going to be here with me today, is also an Aquarian, so I feed off of this energy. So let's start with today, which is Monday, and the moon is still in Libra, and we're coming off of that big, powerful full moon in Libra. I'm not going to go into that. It was beautiful. It's 11:11. Woohoo! All right, we are on a roll with that. I literally forgot all about it, and my eyes were diverted over to that 11:11. Again, it reminds me that we're all exactly where we're supposed to be, doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing, and all is in line. There is hope, as Cindy says. And again, the theme of the week is faith. And so today, Mercury, the planet of the mind, which is still in Pisces until Saturday, is conjunct its own ruling planet, Neptune, and Pisces. And so our thoughts today can really be tuned into the higher octaves of love and unity and compassion. So I've talked extensively about Mercury in Pisces and other shows. If you want to listen to some past shows of mine, you can go onto YouTube and search Aurelia Star Astrology, and you can watch all of the past weekly videos where I dedicated quite a bit of time to Mercury and Pisces. But I want to talk about a dream that I had that to me is very Mercury and Pisces, and it was over the weekend, and it had to do with faith, which is what gave me the theme for this week's show. And it was right before I woke up, and I had this dream. I think it was myself, and there was this seahorse. And I dream about horses a lot, but never a seahorse. Neptune, god of the sea, and the seahorse. The horse was in the ocean. And there was these little vignettes, and the seahorse had this faith that was implied in the dream, that it was trusting to communicate with me. And I talked last week about Mercury and Pisces and how we could talk to the plant world and the animal world and really be in tune with God and angels and fairies. And so in this case, it was a seahorse. And the seahorse had faith that I was a safe person. And I had faith in this seahorse. And all of a sudden within the dream, there was this magic that happened, and the seahorse and I came together like as one. And I woke up feeling so inspired and realizing that we don't have to believe in a particular God, although it's great if we do. We don't, just faith all by itself, especially when it's matched with something else or someone else, can create this magic and inspiration that is so far outside of ourselves. And so I think we have Mercury and Pisces to thank for that. And so I encourage everybody to take the rest of this week and really think about your dreams, tune into your visions, look for the synchronicities that are everywhere. How can you be inspired? How can you be in compassion and a sense of higher love and the octaves of love, and tune into your guides and your spirit guides and your angels, and really listen to what they have to say, because there's so much that comes from outside of us that is available to us to absorb this week. So on Tuesday, Venus, which is in Aries, the warrior in love, is making an exciting connection to Saturn, the planet of reality and discipline and getting things done, in Aquarius. And so we've got this fire and air energy together again. And so love, money, and relationships and values are teaming up with Saturn, commitments and integrity and making plans. So, Venus and Saturn, that can bode well for commitments. If anyone out there is thinking about getting married and wants to make a proposal, this is great energy on Tuesday to do that. You have got the cosmos behind you. And it's also great to do some financial planning or think about some investments. So we get to Wednesday, and again, I'm moving very quickly through the cosmic weather this week so we can incorporate Cindy. But we're going to talk about the sun now, also in Aries. And you think of the sun is symbolic of our life force, our life directions, our will to live. The path that we walk, it's our ego energy. It's authentically how we shine in Aries, the warrior, the pioneer, the daredevil, courageously moving forward into direct action. And it's again making what's called a sextile, and this is an energy of opportunity and an ability to attract resources with Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn again, discipline, integrity, maturity, reality, accomplishment, success. So our plans are coming together this week. Things are coming together, like all this hard work that we've been doing is finally starting to manifest. I've talked about the Saturn-Uranus square, which is now kind of separating, and some of those pressures are easing up. And for those of us who tuned into the astrology and rolled up our sleeves and did the work, all this week has a lot of magic, a lot of inspiration, and big payoffs. So hold the faith and keep doing what you're doing and moving forward. Thursday and Friday, we get into the moon in Sagittarius, which is, again, ruled by the planet Jupiter, so it's all about faith. The moon is going to bump into a lot of other planets, I believe, on Friday, and we might feel like we're getting jerked all around like puppets, but I want to remind everybody we're not just puppets dangling on the ends of the strings of the planets and the movements. We can be the captains of our own destiny, so to speak. We may not be in control of a lot of things, but we can still be the captain of our own destiny, tuning into our soul's deepest desires and intent and following those. I like to say this little prayer. I say it before the show. I say it before I do a reading. I say it before, I say it every day. And what I ask is that, whether it's God, angels, fairies, whatever it is, I know there's something out there, and I address several entities, and I'm so glad Cindy's here today to enlighten us with all of that. But I give gratitude, and I ask to just be this clear crystal conduit and making myself available for the higher energies to flow through me. And I ask for the willingness for that higher, to be able to align my will with that higher will, God's will, if you will, and make myself available for service to that energy and service to humanity and service to my own being. And so that to me feels really pure, and so this Sagittarius energy that's coming later in the week tunes us into that, tunes us into those ideals and that inspiration and that optimism and that big abundance. It's ruled by Jupiter, which is about growth and expansion and ideas and ideals beyond what we can envision in the everyday world. And then on Saturday, Mercury goes into Aries. It's going to kind of be, I don't know how fast it's going to happen, but with our mind, reflected by Mercury and Pisces, I don't know about any of you, but I've been pretty spacey. And I'm not normally a spacey person. I mean, I'm pretty on it, but this Mercury and Pisces, I've just been kind of walking around in this dream world and connecting with seahorses in my sleep, and it's been very ethereal and very beautiful. But I'm ready for Mercury in Aries on Saturday. Mercury again is the mind and our thinking and speaking, reading, writing, how we communicate. It's our thoughts, but also our perception and how we listen. And in Aries, it's on fire. It's like it's quick. Our minds are going to be on fire. We're going to be thinking about new beginnings and how to get started and how to move forward fearlessly, with courage. And courage doesn't mean that we don't really have fear, as I mentioned last week. Like the warrior on the front lines getting ready to do battle, I guarantee that they're scared. But this is about the will to survive and life. Aries is the warrior. But there's also a very innocent quality to Aries. Like there's this Aries innocent, the baby. It's the beginning. And so you think of babies and they're, they're just kind of doing things without knowing. And so Aries can have that quality as well. And there can be some impulsive actions. Mercury in Aries, words can be flying. I mean, anger is right there on the tip of our tongues available, and there is this fine line between being aggressive and being assertive. The last thing that I will mention is that as Mercury goes into Aries, we've got the moon in Capricorn over the weekend. The Capricorn moon has fallen on the weekends for the last 3 or 4 months. And Capricorn is really about business and getting things done. And it's a pragmatic earth sign that's very serious. So it may clash with Mercury in Aries a little bit, because Mercury in Aries just wants to be free and impulsive, and the gas tank of life is full and we're just ready to put the pedal to the metal. But the moon in Capricorn says, wait, let's slow down. We have work to do. Things are serious. So we may want to try to balance that. Otherwise, the mountain goat is going to be locking horns with the ram, and there could be some battles happening. But with all of that, let's see. I think that's really all I want to say about the astrology for the week. I do have a daily blog, and so if you want to tune into the daily astrology, you can go to Facebook and look for my page, Auralea Star Astrology, and you can sign up and tune in. All in all, I just want to say that it's a really promising week, and I think that things are falling into place, and our hard work, sweat, and toil is really paying off. So stay with it, everyone. Steady as she goes. There's a lot of magic in the air, so be on the lookout for synchronicities and good fortune. Keep the faith and dare to dream. And with that, I'm going to bring in the master of faith here, my good friend, Reverend Dr. Cindy Paulos. Welcome.
A big aloha. I don't usually talk with a mask, but I'm trying to follow the protocols, and it's so beautiful to see and be here with you. I have known you for years, Auralea, and I've known and loved astrology for years, but truly you have an ability to be very intuitive and very perceptive, and I love the way you communicate what's really going on with the stars. And I've been a big fan of yours for years, and I've learned over time that you have been able to take anything you have to face and address it and then deal with it, and it really inspires me.
Thank you, Cindy. That means a lot to me, because I think I'm always questioning. I think we all, we don't need to get into that. But thank you for being a fan, and I'm a fan of yours as well. And I want to talk about, I have all these books here from Cindy. I'm going to save my favorite for last. But let's talk. So we have Spiritual Tools for a Better Life. Activate Your Awakening.
That's a brand new one.
All right, this is a brand new one. Tell us about this one.
I've been doing spiritual teachings now on Insight Timer app, and I've heard you talk about Insight Timer before.
I love that. You turned me on to that.
And there's so many teachers there. I mean, I started years ago when there were just about, maybe 500, 1,000. Now they have so many, and I think it's over 1 million. I think there's over 1 million people that follow it. So what I did, I've now got about 50 different or 60 different talks on there. So I decided to take my audio talks and upload them to Scribie, SCRIBIE.com, and then it turned it into text.
Wow.
It's not like very easy, right? Now, You still have
It's
to
not.
edit it and do all that.
Right.
Yeah, and do all that. But with the help of a few friends, including Stacy Everett, I was able to edit it and I even did a re-edit just now today. And it's up on Kindle for free if you're one of the Amazon Prime people, right?
Wow. It's up on Kindle for free, everybody.
And a paperback like this for $8.88.
Oh, that's a great price.
Eight's my number.
And, well, I was looking at this earlier. I just sort of did the method of opening the book up. And so an hour ago, I opened up the book and turned to the page that said humility. And I just want to read a paragraph or two. It says, I want to talk about a subject that doesn't get talked about much anymore. It's humility. I was wondering why we don't speak of humility that often. I think part of this is because of social media. There's always such a desire to post good things about yourself on some of these social media sites. And so let's skip to the poem.
Yeah.
I wrote a poem about it. Humility is not a word that often comes to my mind. To seek to observe in any given time. When one seeks recognition, needing self-esteem, being humble doesn't quite fit in the ego's greater scheme. And yet I'm humbled every day by the grace God shows in so many interesting ways. The beauty of a sunrise can stop me in my tracks. A rooster rising early to announce the given fact that there's a new day to face life while still intact in moments of gratitude. Some humility will slip in. So there is more to the poem, but I want to get to Cindy's other works, and I definitely have some questions for you.
This is my 7th book, and it's all at cindyfollows.com, but the whole reason behind this, because I've known you a long time. I get up at 4 or earlier, maybe 3 sometimes.
3:30.
This morning, 1:30, I couldn't sleep, full moon. And then I meditate for an hour and 8 minutes, and then I write every day, and I've been doing that every day since I've been 14 years old, so thousands.
So inspiring.
And so then all of these things come, and the poems come from what happens in meditation. It's just the way you kind of channel that crystal clear ability through you. I just ask for messages to come, and it's always something that can actually teach me something.
Yeah.
So when I say that humility, it's me too. That's me needing to learn that.
Yes, I think so. But I love that you're making this available to other people, which is of great service. And so let's kind of move through these. So I've got so many questions to ask you. Angel Blessings, Messages from Heaven.
This has a CD that accompanies it that's beautiful.
Is that one of
double
these
CD.
CDs
No, I didn't
here?
bring
Okay.
it, but it's got Wayne Dyer and other people who passed on
Wow.
reading some of my poems from this. This is all about when people pass on. I've been really fascinated with the fact that there is a forever since my father died, and I've been tuning into messages from heaven. And also, I get messages when people have passed on. And if someone passes on that I know, I always write them a poem. So I have these messages about life going on and continuing on, and these are actually each chapter is about for people who have to face things if they are facing death, or for giving some hope to those who have lost a loved one.
I love that. I love that. And this was the page I opened to on this book, and I'll just read the first verse in this poem, and it's called Time Passes. Time passes, love remains. Life passes in love's name. We travel with the current of the passages of time, and the rivers of life's waters, I have chicken skin, carry us onward as we learn to find that we can live and breathe in each moment as love in the eternal now, and we can learn from this life experience, and we will continue to grow. So there's more to this as well, but so beautiful, so inspiring.
Thank you.
And so now we have prayers, affirmations, and meditations.
And this I
for
just put an
connection to
audio
God.
book out. That was a lot of work. I put an audio book. It took about a year and a half to read this It's a lot easier to read a commercial on the air than to read a whole book like this, but it's just out now in an audiobook as well.
That's awesome, and I picked an excerpt from this too, and really, there's a great meditation here. It says, "Behold, I make all things new," which really goes with this Aries energy. This is on page 138. If you want to go, how can people buy these books?
They're
Can
all
they
on
buy them on
Amazon.
on Amazon?
They go to
What, do you have a
cindypaulos.com. It
website?
connects. cindypaulos.com has links to the site.
So cindypaulos.com, Cindy Paulos.com, and you can get any of these books. And I love this on page 138 about the meditation for making all things new, and then on page 139 there's an affirmation. All is clear. And isn't it interesting how we picked this and it went with the week? I am at a point of light within a greater light. I manifest that light here on earth. I match the colors of heaven in the light I share. I serve a greater purpose with my life here on earth. All is clear on my path as I set my intention. Thank you, God, and so it is. Woo! I mean, I've got goosebumps again. So, all right, I know I'm rushing you along.
No, there's a lot more to talk about.
This book, the mystical Mother Mary, Sacred Tools of Love. Cindy gave me this book. I mean, it's been 4 or 5 years ago. Here's her inscription to me. And I had a pretty major surgery about 4 years ago. And as a result, I had some pretty amazing experiences. And I'm just going to give people a short history. You know, my father is Jewish. He went to Orthodox Hebrew schools. My mother is Catholic. She was taught by the nuns. They both denounced religion when I was born, but we celebrated Passover, and my grandfather hid the matzah cracker, and we did Easter, and we hunted for eggs. But I've always had this greater sense of spirituality that is not based on organized religion. And so when it came to Jesus and Mother Mary and a lot of, I thought, I don't know if these are just real or not real, but Cindy gave me this book, and I had an experience with Mother Mary as a result of reading a poem in this book. And I literally, and for that to happen to me, I said, okay, this is really real. I had the sense that Mother Mary was in the room with me, and from that energy, she filled me with this level of self-love that I had never known. And my life has been forever changed since that moment. I cannot tell you.
Thank you.
How I have grown from that moment.
That was the purpose of this book, and that experience makes it all worthwhile. The thing is, I'm not Catholic either. And actually, Mother Mary, I had a visitation, and I was surprised since I'm not Catholic, but I had that visitation, and one of the messages she wanted is that she is not just for Catholics, that she is for everyone, and on top of that, she's here to help women who have been abused, and there's been so many. And part of her messages in these books that I actually got from her after meditation are how to get past pain and suffering and sorrow.
Wow.
And so I'm so
It's
glad.
powerful.
Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, this has been a major turning point in my life reading this book from Cindy. So cindypaulos.com, and you can get any of her amazing books. She's got this amazing music and CDs, and in about 5 minutes we're going to hear
The world premiere.
We're going to hear a world premiere in the hands of God. And look, I've got my notes. Why don't you tell them who the
This one was, it's interesting. Like I say, after I meditate, different things happen. This last year, so many people lost loved ones, and I say lost without the real meaning of loss, because I believe life goes on eternally. But my sister passed away this last summer, and it wasn't an easy situation. And so I had to, in meditation, really go through a lot of deep prayer and to try to get in tune with her. And as I mentioned, I usually write a poem for everyone I know that's passed on. From her, when that opened up, all these amazing, beautiful spiritual messages came in. My sister was very, very Christian religious, and I'm more spiritual, mystic. but these words came in that were so beautiful, and I posted them, as I always do, on Facebook and other places, and a mystical, actually a priest from South Africa, Father Karel Piet van Eden,
Wow.
read the words, and then he put music to them, orchestral arrangements that are just beautiful. So he did the arrangements, and then I got a Grammy award-winning performer, Darlene Koldenhoven, who sang it. So
With a
this
beautiful
one,
voice.
this is unlike anything else I've put out. It's all music, not spoken word, but all music. I like a couple of my other CDs. I have 12 CDs.
And so are these CDs the Gift of Hope and Together Words and Music, or is this spoken word
It's spoken
or
word in
combination?
3 or 4 or 5 songs. And my first CD was all songs. There is a Forever. And then
I have that
Aloha.
one.
Yeah, Practicing Aloha is all songs. And then I did the latest one, All in This Together, that was out this last year, is all songs that accompany this one. This is spoken word. But this one is all songs and beautiful. It's my best yet.
Wow.
It's my best yet.
That's awesome. Well, I'm so excited to have you here today, and that that I can finally promote you, because
Thank
you're
you.
always promoting me, and I've known you for a long time, and we've been to writers' conferences together, and she really walks the talk. I mean, I was in a hotel room with her for 3 days, and she was up at 3 a.m. meditating.
It's true.
I mean, she really does what she says she does. And so we're tuned in to Language of the Soul Astrology Talk Radio with Orlea Starr and my special guest today, Reverend Dr. Cindy Paulos. We are going to go to break shortly. I would like to thank our sponsor, Maui Healing Retreats, for helping to bring you this show today. And you can contact Janet at Maui Healing Retreats at 808-870-3711, or you can visit their website at mauihealingretreat.com. And don't forget to ask about their Kama Aina pricing. Also, some of you may know I'm having a contest. I'll be giving away a free astrology reading, a relationship reading next week. And so if you go to my YouTube, if you go to youtube.com and type in Orlea Starr Astrology and hit the subscribe button, you'll be automatically enrolled. I'm looking at the time and we're running out of it, and I want to be able to take callers. So after a brief song that Cindy just described from us, I will be taking callers at 808-242-7800. And I thought that we would focus on the planet Jupiter today and how you can tune into faith. And Cindy's going to join us for that as well. So again, everyone, 808-242-7800, and we are going to tune into In the Hands of God, written by Cindy Paulos.